Nothing in this recording is intended as investment advice, and the people in this recording may hold positions in the companies they talk about. Do not make any investment based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
Hello and welcome to Zak's Traders Cafe. Today I'm joined by Thomas Abraham James, who's President and CEO at Pulsar Helium. How are you today, Thomas?
Zach, doing very well, mate. Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me again.
Right, I think we all saw your smile in the wake of the announcement that you had, it was just late last month in terms of Minnesota, but maybe you can tell us what's happened since.
Yeah, sure. So it really was at the end of February there that we announced that that we've finished drilling the Jetstream #1 appraisal well at our Topaz Helium project in Minnesota. Significant milestone. And really, since then, we've been, we're eagerly anticipating the additional well data. So we sent off some samples to a laboratory, so they should be coming back imminently. And then also we had Baker Hughes on site. They collected all the wireline data, all the logging instrumentation down the hole. That's in the process of being interpreted, and eagerly awaiting that as well. So yeah, look, those things will be dropping fairly soon, and I guess you could say that the real work begins now.
Isn't it the case that the lab stuff and any other investigations are basically going to be either telling you what you already know, or they're really a sort of a side issue in the sense that the basic quantum of what you have is already known?
Yeah, look, we had, when we were drilling, we had a bit of atmospheric contamination with the samples. So what the purpose is, and it's just prudent to do so, is that on site we had a mass spectrometer, which is a very refined instrument. It gives very accurate readings, and we did that on purpose. So every 100 seconds that we'd be getting that data whilst drilling to make sure that are we into the zone of interest. Yeah, just the nature of the samples being gathered is that you do get that atmospheric contamination there with it. It's not a completely closed system. So we managed to get those samples. We've got numerous ones. We've sent them off to 2 different laboratories. And what they'll do is then they'll do similar analysis to what we did on site, but then also corrections for any atmospheric contamination as well. So yeah, look, when those are received, then we'll be releasing that to the market.
Well, you've already done what many other helium companies haven't been able to do, which is have a smooth run up to exploration and then actually finding the size of the asset, etc., etc. What are the next steps for you?
Yeah, look, we were quite fortunate with our project. So it was an appraisal well drilling, really within sort of 50 feet, 20 meters of a original discovery there, that one that flowed that 10.5%. So, there was a high level of confidence that this be successful, but nevertheless, it's very satisfying that this went well. Yeah, look, really, it's we now get the other bits and bobs of data that we're waiting on. So we also need the equipment to come in and do the pressure test and the flow testing. With any luck, that'll be fairly soon. The intention was to do that immediately, but the thing is that North America had this incredible Caribbean winter, I guess you could call it, where it was anticipating that we'd have the usual sort of 4 feet of snow there and so on, and that wasn't the case. It was actually very mild. So what happened was that the county they changed the road conditions and said for some of the dirt roads that we access to site that the winter conditions are over, the thaw is gone, and now just wait for it to dry out, and then we can bring a vehicle in again after that. So considering there's not much moisture there, there was hardly any snow. It shouldn't be very long until we can get that next bit of testing equipment in. So we'll obviously let everyone know as soon as that green light is given. But then we get that data plus the Baker Hughes information. We then give that to our resource group, which is Sproul out of the USA, and then they'll crunch the numbers and provide us with a resource update. So there's quite a bit of new news flow in the short term.
Right, you're about 4.5x up on your IPO level, and we spoke very soon after that. Most CEOs I speak to always complain that they're undervalued in terms of their market cap. Is there any color that you can give on your perspective of that situation now?
Well, look, obviously, I'm very happy for our shareholders that to see that that leap up in the value of the company. But look, it's not for me to comment on whether it's fair value or not. But look, we're satisfied with where we're at from a technical perspective. That with the gates and the steps that we have to go through, and we've got everything in place, a very capable team. So I just have to reiterate with that news flow that's coming, it's looking rather good. Yeah, so let's just wait and see what they come back as. But I think that really the way that we look at it as a company is that drilling the hole is really phase one completion. We now go off and get that data, crunch the numbers, and then should that resource update look encouraging, then obviously we then start to turn our focus towards, okay, what are the economics of this project? Can we turn this into a commercially viable production scenario? So that's where hopefully the second half of this year is where we'll start to turn our head and focus on.
And is it too early to go for sort of talk about offtake agreements, etc.?
Look, I think it is. There is no shortage of appetite for product out there, that's for sure, and particularly being in the USA, so the single largest user of helium. So look, I think it's prudent for the company to wait until we get that resource calculation, see how that looks, and then when we start to talk about the feasibility study and pricing and so on, I think that's probably a prudent time. Now, perhaps a little bit early, but all I can say is that certainly the interest is out there.
But if anybody wants a decent amount of helium, maybe they can send you an email and just see what the lay of the land is.
Well, look, certainly like expressions of interest are always welcome, and it's nice to know out there who are the people that are interested. So by all means, reach out.
Thomas Abraham James, President CEO at Pulsar Helium, thank you very much indeed.
Always a pleasure, Zach. Thanks for having me.